For days, the nation awaited word from former President Harry Truman on Attorney General Brownell's speech on the Harry Dexter White case. Then, to the nation, Mr. Truman spoke on Brownell's accusation.
This attack is without parallel, I believe, in the history of our country. I have been accused, in effect, of knowingly betraying the security of the United States. And in saying Harry Dexter White was known to be a communist spy by the very people who appointed him, he lied to the American people. I can now determine I first learned of the accusation against White early in February 1946, when an FBI report specifically discussing the activities of Harry Dexter White was brought to my attention. This report showed that serious accusations had been made against White, but it pointed out that it would be practically impossible to prove these charges with the evidence then at hand. Secretary of the Treasury, Vinson, consulted with Attorney General Tom Clark and other government officials. When the results of these consultations were reported to me, the conclusion was reached that the appointment should be allowed to take its normal course. I want the American people to understand that the course we took protected the public interest and security, and at the same time permitted the intensive FBI investigation then in progress to go forward. No other course could have served both these purposes.
The next day, in a drama-packed session of the Senate Internal Security Committee, Attorney General Herbert Brownell discusses the White case and its handling by the Truman administration.
An inference has been drawn in some quarters from my speech, which I think is unwarranted. By lifting certain sentences out of context, it has been said that I implied the possibility that the former President of the United States had been disloyal. I intended no such inference to be drawn. The matter to be determined by Mr. Truman and his associates was whether Harry Dexter White should be advanced to a post of high honor, great trust and responsibility, and of vital importance to the security of our country. If there was solid evidence at that time establishing that White was engaged in espionage activity, certainly no one would contend that sound and proper administration required this advancement or even continuance in government service simply because a criminal conviction could not be obtained. The question which had to be decided at that time was not whether White could have been convicted of treason in court. There was ample evidence that he was not loyal to the interests of our country, and that's enough. Government employment is a privilege, not a right, and we don't have to wait until a man is convicted of treason before we can remove him from a position of trust and confidence. Indeed, it seems to me that this explanation of White's appointment, that is, that he was appointed and allowed to remain in office for more than a year in order to help the FBI trap him as a spy, raises more questions than it answers.
Making one of his rare appearances before a congressional committee, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover summarizes his role in the White case.
On February 21, 1946, the Attorney General informed me that he had spoken with the then Secretary of Treasury, the late Chief Justice Vinson, and the President about White. The Attorney General stated he felt the President should personally tell White that it would be best for him not to serve. I told the Attorney General I felt it was unwise for White to serve. I was not present in any discussions with the President concerning this matter.
Explaining that the FBI never agreed to the promotion of White, Mr. Hoover emphasizes that he did not
enter into any agreement to shift White from his position in the Treasury Department to the International Monetary Fund.